I posted recently about the best way to maximize the visibility of your video content on LinkedIn, but I've also noticed that a lot of videos on Instagram aren't displaying at their best. Now there's a few different ways to post your video content on Instagram. Firstly and primarily, you can post video in your normal Instagram feed. And you do this by tapping the Add Media button at the bottom of the screen. And then you have the choice of either taking a photo, recording a video, or posting a video from your library. Now what we're talking about here is videos that have been filmed and edited prior to posting on Instagram. We're not talking about filming a live video. Let's assume therefore that we're selecting one from the library. So then you look around for the video that you want to be posting. So once you've found it, the most important thing you can do here is to make sure that you tap on the little double arrow icon, which is down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen there. And that will ensure that if your video is in the standard widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio, that it will display in its full capacity. If you don't click that little button, then it will display square and therefore crop the edges of your video. It might be that you've deliberately created a square video in order to use up all the space on an Instagram feed, and that's fine. But if you are looking to post a 16:9 horizontal video like this one here, then you need to press that little double arrow icon in order for it to display properly. And if your video runs for more than 60 seconds, Instagram will give you the option of either posting it as a short video, and it will display that in your normal feed, or as a long video, which is essentially an IGTV or an Instagram TV video, which means it will play a preview in the feed, but then you have to click through to watch it in full. So in this case, I'll select short video and continue. And then it takes you through to the next screen where you have the options down the bottom of adding a filter, trimming it, and selecting a thumbnail cover. Like I said, we're dealing here with videos that have already been produced and fully edited and color graded, so you don't want to be adding another filter which is going to affect your color cast. The other option is to trim your video. Now you might want to do that when you've shot a live video just to cut the head and the tail off the video, but again, this is a video that's already been edited and we don't want to play around by cutting anything out of it. So the only option that's relevant here is the cover option, and this is very important as well. If you don't select an appropriate thumbnail or cover, as Instagram calls it, then it will default to the first frame of your video. Now in this case, what you're looking at here is the first frame, and that's completely fine. That's just lucky though. Often the first frame of your video won't be representative of the video. And so it's important to slide through your video using a little slider here at the bottom and finding the frame that is going to best represent your video. Once you've found the frame that you want, you click next and it takes you through to the posting page. Now you're probably pretty familiar with this page already, but this is where you get to choose which account you post it to, whether you want to also post it to Facebook or Twitter. You can also choose a location for your video as well. And of course, this is where you describe your video. And what you want to do here is describe the video in a way that summarizes the content, because that will give your viewer a clue as to what the video is about. And therefore, if they're interested in that content, they are much more likely to click through and also listen to the content as well. And in this field, you also add your hashtags. So then you click OK. And at this point, you can then share it to your feed. The third way of posting a video is in the stories section, which is accessed by the little blue cross on your avatar in the top left-hand corner of the screen there. And that will take you through to this page, which gives you the ability to record a live story. But again, we're talking about videos that have already been produced. So what you want to do is click through to the library, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of this page. And it brings up all your available videos in your photo feed. I think there are three ways you can display your video in stories. One is to select a normal 16:9 horizontal widescreen video. But as you can see, it displays in the middle of the page and isn't really using up all the space very well. It also defaults to having the date, but you can tap and hold that date and drag it to the bin at the bottom of the screen if you don't want it there. And also on stories, you can select text and various other options to add locations, add links and tags and whatever else you want to do here. So there's a couple of other options, and one option is to have 3 videos running one above the other like this, and they sit pretty neatly. I think that looks pretty good. You can set them above each other. You can have 3 different shots from your video playing, or they could be 3 different videos depending on what it is you're trying to achieve. So then the third option is to actually edit your video beforehand in a vertical aspect ratio. So obviously this series of interviews were originally widescreen, but I've cropped them in such a way that they display optimally in a vertical ratio. And that obviously makes the most use of the space on your screen, and it may be that this is your best option as far as visibility goes in the stories part of Instagram. So the reason that this is so important is that there's such a vast array of video content across social media channels that you want your video to stand out. And if it's not displaying optimally, then it's not going to stand out and people will just scroll straight past it. So I hope this has been helpful, but feel free to contact me if you need any other help with either producing videos in the first place or posting them on social media.